The truth is simple. Love and Marriage Huntsville has reached a point where the show feels more like a cycle than a story. The same fights, the same drama, the same tired patterns keep showing up. After 10 seasons, the energy has shifted, and not in a good way. Many people who once watched weekly, never missed an episode, and talked about every detail online, are now walking away from the show. The break they took did not help. Instead of coming back with something fresh, the show returned with storylines that feel empty, forced, and stretched far beyond their limit. Now people are asking the question that many are scared to say out loud. Should the show just end? When a show reaches a point where the audience can miss 3 episodes and still understand everything from small clips online, that is not a good sign. When people say they feel bored, not because the cast is calm, but because the stories feel recycled, that is a sign that something has gone wrong. The friendships look staged. The drama looks planned, and the same people who once carried the show have nothing real left to give. The season returned, but the feeling did not. It's almost like the show is running only because it has always run, not because it has something left to say. One of the biggest issues right now is the way the cast keeps pretending things are natural, when we can see they are not. The show keeps trying to push drama that does not make sense. The Scotts stay acting innocent even when they clearly play a role in the mess. Martell keeps bringing up the same co-parenting drama that has been around for years. And Destiny keeps showing up with a new man every other week, but all the men come from the same small circle of people connected to the show. It is a pattern that makes people feel like the cast is doing anything to stay on screen. The conversation around Destiny is one of the loudest right now. Many people used to root for her, especially because she comes from Detroit and carries herself with pride. But as time went on, something about her behavior began to look desperate. It became clear she was trying to stay in the show's circle by dating men connected to the same group. There is nothing wrong with being single and dating. There is nothing wrong with talking to more than one person at a time, but the way she moves makes it look like she is dating inside this small Huntsville circle, not because she wants a real relationship, but because she wants to stay tied to the show. Every time she appears with a new guy, it is someone connected to someone else on the cast. One minute, she is talking to Nell's son. Then she is on a date with Nell's godson. Then she pops up with Will, who is connected to Ken. And all of these men are tied together through the same group of people that show up every season. This makes it look less like real dating and more like she is chasing a storyline. It gives the impression that she wants to be talked about. Instead of finding someone in the real world outside the cast, she keeps recycling the same small group of men connected to the show, and it looks strange. It sends a message that she is willing to date anyone as long as it keeps her connected to the drama. Dating should be fun, simple, and natural, but dating multiple men who all appear in the same events, all know each other, and all have ties to the same cast members is messy. It looks embarrassing. It makes people question what is really going on. It also makes people wonder if she has anything else happening in her life, besides this constant dating storyline. The businesses she once talked about, the candles, the sprays, the products she claimed she was building, none of that seems to be active anymore. Instead, all the attention goes back to who she is dating next. But Destiny is not the only part of the problem. Since Mel left the show, the cast needed a new target. For years, Mel was the one they focused on. Her life was the center of the story. Now that she's gone, they have turned their attention toward Nell. And this shift shows just how desperate the show is for drama. Instead of letting the story grow naturally, they simply picked a new person to create friction with. Nell joined the show wanting to be included, wanting to be part of the circle, wanting to fit into the group. But once she became part of that world, she walked straight into the same trap that everyone else fell into. The drama with Nell began when she told Tisha to keep her name out of her mouth. It was a simple statement. She did not want to be dragged into anything. She did not want her family involved. She did not want people talking about her grandchild or her son. But Destiny, already known for carrying bones from one person to another, went back and repeated what Nell said. And she repeated it in a way that made Tisha feel attacked. Instead of explaining the situation calmly, she delivered it the way someone would if they wanted to spark conflict. Once Tisha heard it, she approached Nell with attitude, acting like she needed to check her. But Nell stood her ground. She told Tisha straight up that she did not owe her anything. She did not owe her calmness. She did not owe her silence. She did not owe her respect when she did not receive any in return. And that is when Tisha and Kimmy switched into their usual pattern, acting like victims while raising their voices and pretending they are being attacked. Kimmy tried to play the role of mediator, but her tone was not neutral. She came into the conversation with attitude, telling Nell she should not be yelling while Kimmy herself was raising her voice. It was a classic tactic the Scots use. Talk loud, talk fast, talk over the other person, then claim the other person is the one who is loud and aggressive. They tried it with Mel. They tried it with multiple people. Now they are trying it with Nell. The moment Kimmy threatened to throw Nell in the pool was the moment everything became clear. It was not mediation. It was not peacekeeping. It was intimidation. It was disrespect. It was a physical threat. And when Nell stood up for herself and said she would respond if someone tried to put their hands on her, suddenly the Scots wanted to act shocked. They wanted to act like Nell was out of control. They wanted to change the story and make it look like Nell was the problem, even though they were the ones who came at her first. The Scots have a pattern. They poke, they push, they raise their voice. Then they act confused when the other person gives the same energy back. They pretend they are calm, when in reality they are loud. They pretend they are innocent when in reality they start most of the conflict. Kimmy and Tisha walked into that conversation ready to gang up on Nell, and when she did not break, they could not handle it. This is one of the reasons people feel like the show needs to end. The same patterns keep repeating. The same cast members behave the same way season after season. There is no growth. There is no maturity. There is no real storyline. The show has turned into nothing but people trying to bully someone new every season. Once they lose their main target, they choose a new one and continue the cycle. And now that Mel is gone, Nell became the next convenient person to focus on. The problem is the drama no longer feels real. It no longer feels connected to anything important. It feels like people are forcing issues that do not matter. Instead of real conversations about love, marriage, business, family, and growth, the show has become a place where people pretend to fight for the cameras. The heart of the show is missing. The purpose is lost. There is no depth. There is no direction. Even Martell's storyline feels played out. Everyone is tired of the same co-parenting issues. Everyone is tired of the same patterns. It is not new. It is not changing, and it adds nothing to the season. The story feels stuck, like it is frozen in time. And no matter how many times the show tries to revisit it, it still brings nothing fresh. The same can be said for the Scots. Their stories feel empty. They come on screen and pretend their marriage is perfect, pretend their family is perfect, pretend their image is spotless. But the moment conflict shows up, they react in ways that expose everything they try to hide. They act innocent, but their actions tell the real story. They act calm, but their voices get loud. They act like victims, but they are often the ones who trigger the drama. All of this leaves viewers exhausted. It leaves people wondering what exactly they are watching. It leaves people asking why the show is still running, when the heart of it is gone. The show once had potential. It once had a strong cast. It once had real issues worth exploring. But now, it feels like everyone is just showing up to check a box. There is no passion. There is no honesty. There is no real connection. The show feels tired. The cast feels tired. The story feels tired. And viewers can feel that. Instead of looking forward to new episodes, people feel like they have to force themselves to watch. Instead of talking about the show with excitement, people talk about how confusing, boring, and forced everything feels. And when a reality show reaches that point, it is a sign that the season should end, or maybe the entire show should end. The energy of the show has changed. The fun is gone. The spark is gone. The chemistry is gone. The cast is not giving anything worth watching. They are recycling drama that should have ended seasons ago. They are repeating arguments that lead nowhere. They are pretending to rebuild friendships that have never been real. And they are pushing storylines that no one believes. Nell did not walk into that show seeking trouble. She walked in hoping to be part of the group. But this show has a pattern. The moment someone becomes too confident, too respected, or too outspoken, they become a target. And that is exactly what happened to Nell. The Scott women tried to team up on her, and when she stood her ground, they tried to flip the story. But anyone watching knows exactly what happened. The loudest people in the room were the ones telling her to be quiet. The most aggressive were the ones pretending to be calm. The ones who started the conflict were the ones claiming to be victims. This is the problem with the show. The truth gets twisted. The loudest people get praised. The messy behavior gets pushed. And the real moments get ignored. At this point, many viewers feel the same way. It might be time to bring the show to an end. There is no real love left to show. There is no real marriage left to show. And the business side of things has completely disappeared. What remains is a group of people pretending, a group of people chasing storylines, and a group of people who no longer share genuine connections. When a show loses its purpose, there is no point in dragging it out. When the stories become forced, the audience disconnects. And when the cast begins acting for the camera instead of living their real lives, the show becomes empty. That is exactly where Love and Marriage Huntsville is right now. The show brought interesting stories at first. It brought strong personalities. It brought real issues. But now, it feels like everyone is just trying to stay relevant, even if that means creating drama that has no depth. Even if that means acting innocent when they are not. Even if that means choosing the same recycled story every season. The energy is off. The direction is unclear, and the entire cast seems more focused on fighting than fixing anything in their lives. At this point, viewers are tired. They want something new, something real, something meaningful. And if the show cannot offer that anymore, then maybe the honest answer is simple. The show should end. It has run its course. It has served its purpose. And dragging it out only makes everything worse. It is time to face the truth. The show is not what it used to be. It has become a shadow of its former self. And unless something changes in a major way, the best option may be to let it go.